Pudge lane?
I guess. I mean, well, they're not going to. I mean, the Pudge is coming top.
See how the early lane's able to shape up here for Topson against Bob on the Shadow Fiend. His early raises spamming out. Topson not going to go for the stick early on. Wants this bottle rush to be able to play it, helping out in regards to the resources. You see how much damage he's racking up. Bob doesn't have enough, unfortunately, for another raise to follow up. Topson is incredibly slow. Look at this. He's like, what do I do?
Well, he's had about 2 range creeps denied in front of his face as well. So obviously a very risky proposition there. But yeah, Bob ends up taking a few tower hits, but it's the intimidation factor. You know, this is how you want to start out these qualifiers.
Has been killed.
Make a lot of sense to pair a Primal Beast together with the Nature's Prophet. It was how they were always going to do it with Kuka and Zephyr combination, but maybe they just feel a little bit more confident with running this in the Pudge there, just for a lot of that consistent damage coming out. But you have to consider, like, Trample, as long as you get the rod off, you don't really care. You're not going to take any damage, basically. Just wanting something that's going to be able to contest with the really strong right clicks from the Pudge. Primal Beast pretty much emulates that with that the Bracer pickup, basically the exact same right click.
We'll see Topson have a very difficult time mid. This is the nice thing about the Shadow Fiend. Just with the raises, Topson is always forced to kind of play on a high health pool, making it difficult for him to secure the last hit. So
fine. Yeah, no, it certainly is quite difficult. And for the very start of this game, Bob's having a great time, making sure even just if he doesn't get the last hits to soak up all of that experience, realizing how important it is for him to create that little bit of a gap over Topson. He should have the easier time with being able to get these last hits off, even going for that kill there and forcing Topson to use a lot more defensive moves coming out and gets the first blood. That has to feel good. Come on, the tips have to come through. There we go. That'll do. Able to get the outplayed, get the mojo going, and Bob is not the person that you want to get feeling off.
Oh, not at all. Get this guy online. It's going to be scary here for T1. We've seen what a Shadow Fiend is able to do. Already off to a flying start, and looks like their side lanes gone decently well. Bottom lane, Tino 13-1 in combination with the Tiny. This is another lane where I think we're going to have a lot of action break out. Probably is going to be dependent on what.
It's that net worth lead. It's sitting in T1's favor right now, and with the regen rune, even Topson just being able to move back towards the jungle. I actually didn't realize how low this mid tower was already. Less than a quarter HP. Gonna mean that you can look to dive in through a nice kill bottom, left solo, and with the TP coming in from Cuckoo, so they're gonna try and put a little bit more pressure onto these towers around the map, force some defensive rotations out of Execration, rather than all of the aggressive ones that they've been having so far.
Dire's middle tower
Fired by the power rune. Gonna spawn up top, in fact, with the invisibility. Bob trying to find the stacks. Gonna go for the Requiem instead. He's still playing around with the attribute shift, and Topson once again just lives to see another day. Be cautious, though, because Zephyr, with the onslaught, clips onto Shanks. They've got the Wrath of Nature as well, so T1, off the back of the support rotations, will help Topson stay alive and get a kill onto Shanks.
That's the thing about the best teams in the world. You can have one lane go really poorly, but as long as the other two are just fine. I mean, that's why it was such a big deal that Bob was getting those kills solo without any other assistance.
Carlos, he's in a lot of trouble here. Ana's got plenty of movement speed to be able to continue this chase, and the T2 tower won't even be a deterrent. He doesn't get close enough to it.
Palace to get away. Just more pressure happening around the map, not giving anything up for free is T1.
Do we feel like Execration might lack some early game damage now going to the mechanism and almost hand to God? We're gonna see the defense. Tino, look at the jump. Oh no, Tino evaporates. Ana playing with the unleash. Now he's gonna turn to try and bring down Paulus. It's gonna be all up to Bob if they can turn this team fight back around, but the Requiem still on cooldown, so Bob will have no answer as Execration, they lose their tier 1 tower and they lose 2 members.
Then so much.
So
his own beacon.
He jumped in instead. Oh no, he jumped in, and now with the chain frost can bounce back and forth. They'll get the hand of gold for the bonus heal. Now Arno's going to try and turn around as well. They unleash for the dispel, and Arno's life still's not enough. They get the kill to the Marcy, but it comes at such a grave cost, as Execration will lose all 3 members in the skirmish party. I believe. Tino, maybe. All right, they got him.
Way too.
Radiant structures.
Push
are
out the other
fortified.
lanes. That's the main goal for Execration right
Radiant's
now.
bottom tower
They're smoking.
is under
This is
attack.
crazy.
Where do you jump? Because Ana and Waimon hang hand in hand. Gonna
Radiant's
go for Zephyr instead. Not the easiest target to bring down, especially with Waimon on the outskirts as well. The Spirit Vessel applied. It's going to stop below the bonus health coming back, but off to the left side, they're going to be able to blow up Tino with a turnaround. It's not enough because Ana's protected with the BKB. He just shrugs off the Requiem, jumps further into the middle, secures the triple kill, and Ana's Marcy is something to fear.
Heroes because you think you could go on to this Primal Beast. He turns out he's a pretty beefy hero. Level 11, position 4, 2200 HP, plus the extra armor that you're getting if you're able to get off that uproar. It's just 200.
Looks Topson and baits Ana to jump in. They get the stun.
Baiting
Ana
move.
still has ages. This is, I don't know if you're ready for this team fight. Ana gets a little bit of bonus health back. Not going to be enough to hold off through the first life. And now Tino, he's got his second point in the exorcism. So he's going to charge in the middle, trying to create some chaos, break the formation out of T1. But they're retreating perfectly. In synergy is T1, making sure there's no stragglers for the easy pickings. And now with the backstabber, Zephyr onslaughts into the middle with the pulverize out as well. Tino's gone out of the count. And
6 months, honestly. Like a big change in style, and it's working out wonderfully. Lacking that little bit of extra damage. They get Ruku.
Because they're able to break the dismember instantly. Vincenzo's going to buy some time as well, but Palace is stuck in no man's land. Shanks is able to reveal the Blink Dagger as well. They're going to try and toss him inside the Requiem, but the attribute shift keeps Topson alive, and now Ana is having a free fight. Again, the Marcy just jumping on forward. Zero cares in the world is Ana. Cuckoo. Might have to have some cares.
Under attack.
Looks like he's able to walk that one off as well. A Witchblade.
Aura, plus everything else that you got.
Ooh, Bob trying to charge up the Requiem. They need to toss him directly on top of the Shadow Fiend. They're going to be able to do so with the BKB. The nick of timing from Zephyr and Execration. They're going to get out. Cancel the team fight, but the bashes are there. Bob will not escape. And Norval Shanks and Topson wants more blood. A waveform deep inside the base. They've got Ana to follow up as well as T1. Looking them go forward. Pillaging the base. No one is safe from the boys of T1.
They're ready, and they want to converge potentially on mid. I mean, they've got the siege creep there. They've got a second wave coming. It's like for now, they just want to close out all of these outer towers for now. Spend all the ultimates to do so, especially considering they know the access. You got the global teleport as Cuckoo comes to mid. Thompson, of course, with his waveform, very fast at being able to move around the map. The Frost Shield's going to delay things a little bit, but you're still just not ready.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
It's going to have to be a toss back into a Requiem, and there's the silence.
That fast range, man.
Not able to find it. Zephyr with the charge and gets the pulverize onto Tino. They're going to be able to stop it in its tracks. There's just no damage. You drop the pipe, you got the hand of God, and instantly T1 can turn it around. They're deep inside the base without a care in the world. Even the glyph is not going to be enough of a deterrent. Tino will try and charge onto Cuckoo, but the physical damage is starting to wrap up. Even the BKB will not do anything to protect the Death Prophet. And T1, the mid lane was rocky to start, but it did not matter. What a fine way for them to open up their run here in game one.
Missing on the hook there. This should be game. Like, they are absolutely swarming that Ancient. No buybacks available on the DP or the SF. This one out if they were wanting to, but a little bit composed. Never mind, it was a bait.
It was a bait. Give me more kills. Let me add to the tally. The G's had dropped. T1 on their debut. Fine game one. We'll see what they're able to do if they can replicate this performance. But for them, Denok, you really had a lot of questions on how this new T1 it would look, and again, in really particular to the supports. And I was quite impressed with Zephyr on the Primal Beast.